February might have been a scary month for investors. Stocks ending with a major sell-off. The Dow and the S&P 500 both turning in their worst monthly performances in 2 years. Spooking markets earlier in the week was Jay Powell testimony before Congress. The Fed chairman returns today. He's going to testify this time before the Senate. Edward Stringham is the American Institute for Economic Research president, and he joins us now. Good morning, Edward.
Good morning, Lauren.
Do you expect he'll double down on what he said before the House
I think he's going to lasso inflation and solve all the world's problems instantly.
Did he make any rookie mistakes, though, in his first testimony?
No, I mean, the big problem I have with monetary policy is we're putting so much power in the hands of one person, and we really need to be figuring out what is going on in his mind. And the problem I have is there's long and variable lags with monetary policy. He's inherited policy from Bernanke, from Yellen, from a few years ago, and maybe the inflation from their expansionary monetary policy is going to be showing up now. And we all have to be guessing what's going on in his mind at any given time.
Yeah, you know, yeah, it's tricky to be the Fed chief. You don't want to spook the markets, and he has to figure out how he's going to talk to the community, I guess. This testimony is before the Senate. Do you expect any comments in particular on deregulating the banks? You know, he's not as into regulation as Janet Yellen was, for instance.
So I'm going to read his mind and say yes. The one thing that I'm a little more optimistic about him on compared to Yellen is he's less of a zealous regulator. So I think their monetary policy is very similar. So I'm not super excited about that. Right. But my understanding, he's less zealous into regulation, and that's going to be good for financial institutions. That's going to be good for markets overall, and that's going to be good for the average person.
So, Edward, stocks futures are down about 90 points on the Dow at the moment. But on Tuesday, when he testified before the House, the market tanked 300 points. So whatever he says is going to be closely parsed. If you're saying financials could do well today because he's
well, I mean, a lot of this is priced in already, and the big thing we have to be worrying about as well is inflation. So a lot of people have been predicting this for a long time, and it might be sneaking up. We've got value of treasuries falling, which means interest rates are rising, and that can be due to expansionary monetary policy of the past. So a weakening of the dollar can really affect everybody in a negative way. So, you know, on the one hand this, on the other hand that, you know, it can go either way.
All right. Well, speaking of going either way, I told our viewers that Dow futures were down 90 points. But speaking of the volatility, they're only down 50 now. So, Edward, things change in a second. Thanks. Thank you so much.
Great.
We'll shift it over